The 2014 Sinquefield Cup was set to be the strongest chess tournament in history. It occurred over 10 years ago now, but it's one of the greatest performances the chess world has ever seen. An average rating of 28.01, including 6 of the world's top 10 players, and had some of the greatest games ever played. Whilst it has been documented here and there, no one has highlighted what made this tournament so great. It was organised into a double round robin, meaning that all the players had to play against each other twice, once as white and once as black. What emerged from this tournament was a performance from a player that was so unexpected, Magnus himself called it depressing. Enter Fabiano Caruana, a now 4-time US champion. He had been having a very good year, winning tournaments and becoming the 5th player ever to be rated above 2800. In the first round, Fabiano was paired against Veselin Topalov, a former world champion and player who is well known and respected by everyone in the chess world. The game opened with a symmetrical English, an opening designed to lead to quite a positional and manoeuvring game, rarely becoming a bout of all-out aggression. That's why it was an interesting moment when on move 17, Topalov played g4, hoping to restrict Fabiano from playing f5, which would have let his bishop on the dark squares come out to a more powerful square, but with g4, Topalov had just broken 2 of chess's most important principles. 1. Don't push the pawns in front of your king, as they are your defense. And 2. When you push a pawn, you cannot bring it back, meaning this pawn, now on the g4 square, was stranded, and any attempts to play h3 to defend it would only weaken the king further. Fabi saw this, and in the next couple moves, completely dismantled Topalov's strategy. He kept his bishop along this diagonal, not allowing a potential bishop or queen maneuver to h3, where they would become stronger pieces. He relinquished his attempts at control over the d5 square by trading off pieces at the right time, and the second Topalov tried to make use of his pawn push and create a strong knight, Fabi forced it off the board, meaning now Topalov's pawn push was for nothing, and the g-file towards his king was left wide open. Fabiano continued to push, looking for avenues to attack Topalov's king. He threatened checkmate with queen h5, forcing him to once again push pawns in front of his king. The final blow came on move 34, where bishop b2 was played, attacking Veselin's pawns, but not only that, the 2 doubled rooks on the e-file were also working in tandem with the queen. Facing inevitable destruction, Topalov resigned. This win, although very impressive and putting him in pole position, didn't yet show to people what was about to happen. But then on day 2, he simply won again against Maxime Vachier-Lagrave. He managed to win a piece with a great tactical shot on move 20, playing knight takes e4, which not only captured Maxime's bishop and attacked his queen, also opened up an attack from his own queen onto Maxime's other bishop, winning him a piece, which at this level is more than enough to take the win home. Despite now winning 2 games in a row, Fabi still said that he needs to remain focused on the task at hand. He was in first place, but the geniuses behind him would be ready. And with day 3 coming up next, he had another game to prepare for, and this time it was against Magnus Carlsen. What started as a very standard bishop's opening began to raise some eyebrows when Fabi took Magnus's knight. Although this did double the pawns in front of Magnus's king, he had the open f-file for his rook to use, which looked like it could destroy Fabi's position if he wasn't careful, alongside the light square bishop on b3 that was also targeting some important squares. The board exploded after bishop takes f7. Magnus sacrifices a bishop in the hopes of a devastating attack on Fabi's king, and with the knight capturing on e5, his rook opening up, and his queen also ready to join the fight, Magnus looked to be in a very good spot. But Fabi just said no. Quietly and calmly, he simply denied Magnus all the tactics he had spent ages calculating. Magnus began to feel more uncomfortable, coming to the realization that if he is not careful, he could be about to give Fabi his 3rd win of the tournament. On moves 19 and 20, Fabi found the key moves bishop g4 and knight d3, which looks at first glance like it loses the knight for free. But Yasser Seirawan shows us why this does not work.
That rook in the corner, there's no way that he can withstand this brutal checkmating attack of black.
Right, before you had queen g1, but now knight f2 check.
Magnus's attack had now been crippled. He had a passed pawn, but his dark squares were critically weak without a bishop to support his king. And what good is an extra queen if you're about to lose your king? Fabi punished in quick fashion, and in the final moves forced his king out of his shelter. People were now beginning to get excited and talking about the possible performance that could be to come, with Maurice Ashley even hinting at Fabi looking like a new #1 in the world after dismantling Carlsen. There was excitement, but there was also whispers amongst the players, according to Fabi, that some of them believed he may be cheating due to his strong performance.
Like some players that really thought I cheated in this game.
Really,
This is the best game I've ever played, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not easy to. I mean, like I don't try to be immodest with this, but yeah, it was like really a good game.
These whispers were sparked in round 4, when Fabi played the best game of his career. He was paired against Levon Aronian and opened relatively normally in the Spanish variation, other than trying an uncommon idea where he puts his bishop on a2, instead of following common theory, which says it should go to c2. After some shuffling, Fabi had made progress weaning his pieces over to Levon's kingside, and on move 25, uncorked knight to a5, a move that seems to just offer a knight trade, but actually lays up his next move, knight takes e5, sacrificing the knight on a5. What followed was pure positional domination. Levon's knights were stranded from the rest of his pieces, and after moving his knight back to b7, scrambling to get it back into the game, it never moved again. He built up a wall of pawns, and unlike Topalov in round 1, Fabi's king was safe, and he was marching towards the end of the board. The game ended with a calm rook h5, threatening to promote his pawn, and after some tactics, be up a rook for a knight, winning him the game. The chess world now knew they were witnessing something special, comparing Fabiano's current performance with one similar to the legendary Bobby Fischer, who won 11 out of 11 games in the 1963 US Championship. All he would need to do is keep winning, and apparently for Fabiano, this was easy. Round 5 came, his opponent, Hikaru Nakamura, another one of the few to have crossed 2800, lost a pawn on move 36. 12 moves later, he blundered his bishop, allowing Fabi to pin it with his rook. 17 more moves followed, and Nakamura was losing hope with each one, scrambling for any ounce of hope to be found in his flurry of checks. But there was nothing. Fabiano was now 5 out of 5, and his first round opponent Topalov had come for revenge in round 6. He opened this time with the Sicilian, a sharp and tactical opening destined for fireworks. But Fabi simply flattened him again, denying Veselin's light square bishop a single breath until move 20, which by that point was already too late. The final position was one of pure destruction, fear, and just an outclassing to the highest degree. He was now 6 out of 6. He had already sent every player in the tournament to the chopping block, and he seemed to be doing it again. Fabiano's opponents were just literally falling apart in front of him. Even in round 7, after a Queen's Gambit declined, one of the most highly drawn openings in all of chess, White on move 18 had a king on c3. It was absolutely inconceivable what Fabiano was doing to his opponents. Maxime Vachier-Lagrave came and went in under 40 moves, and was made to look like a complete amateur. Fabiano had now just broken the record for the highest performance rating of any chess player ever, with an utterly ridiculous 3098, quite literally as strong as chess engines in that time. It took the greatest player ever to halt Fabiano's rampage, where peace was finally agreed to after 42 moves. Fabiano finished the tournament without losing a single game, in the strongest chess tournament to have ever been held. This performance has never been matched, and has only had one player come close to it in 2024 when Gukesh Domaraju played at a 30-56 level, still over 40 points behind Caruana. Fabiano Caruana's performance at the 2014 Sinquefield Cup will forever be etched in chess history, and who knows if anyone will come close again. Like, subscribe, and join the Discord. Love you all, and goodbye.